This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella. On the phone I've got promoter Eddie Hearn. Eddie, you were convinced for so long that you would win the purse bid today for DeGALE and Dirrell. Obviously Warriors Boxing have outbid you by about $1 million, correct?
Yeah, we got the silver medal, but unfortunately by some way. I mean, negotiations have been taking place with their team for probably 2 weeks now, and our bid was well in excess of the numbers that have already been discussed, and I know that their team was a little bit concerned about some other bidders from their market coming in late doors, and they put in an unbelievable bid, just blew everybody away, and that's it. So we bid $2.1 million, they bid $3.1 million. 2.1 for us was a big bid. It was a big bid. I was pretty confident we'd be there or thereabouts, but obviously, they've come in with a mega one.
Can you just explain to us who actually Warriors Boxing are?
Well, Warriors Boxing promotes boxing shows, and they work alongside our Hayman fighters as well. As you know, our Hayman's not a promoter as such, so a lot of his fighters fight on other promoter shows that he works with and uses. So, Warriors Boxing, Goose, and etc. So, it's a bid on behalf of their team, if you like.
So
the Dirrell team.
It's not a case of Al Hayman. Is it a case of Al Hayman's won this purse bid ahead of you?
Yeah, I mean the official paperwork is Warriors Boxing, but they've won the bid. I think you might be better off saying it's Team Dirrell.
So obviously this undoubtedly means that James DeGale's purse will obviously be bigger, but obviously means that he will have to travel. First of all, you've obviously spoke to James. How does he feel about it?
I just spoke to him. He's absolutely buzzing. I mean, obviously he's going to get $1.5 million, about £1 million. Of course we would have loved to fight over here, absolutely. But I'd much rather lose the bid for 3.1 million than 2.2 million. But he's buzzing. He says he's just pleased. It's been a rough couple of weeks. Andre Dirrell never wanted to come to the UK, and actually was always worried that even if we won the bids, he still might not come. But obviously that's not a concern anymore. But he's buzzing. Spoke to him. He can't wait to go out to America, and he believes we win the world title, and so do we. We've seen before, if you're good enough, you win. Doesn't matter where it is. Kelbrook won over there, Darren Barker won over there. I think it makes it a little bit harder, but I think the special fighters will win regardless. And he's more than happy with the purse and the package, and now we wait on a date. They've got 15 days to give us the date. Already talk of April the 24th in Chicago, which is the same date that Anthony's due to box as well. And just waiting on that. But no, he's buzzing. He just wanted to know as well. It's been such a long couple of weeks, and obviously running out of time for April the 25th has been frustrating. And that was the date we hoped to stage that fight if we won the bids or got the negotiations done. But now obviously that fight won't be on April 25th, and we'll rethink that date as well. I know that's your next question coming in.
Yeah, obviously that was sort of headlining your O2 show on the 25th. First of all, is that likely to go ahead now?
I think we've also got a date of May the 30th at the O2 as well. It's a question of, do we go back-to-back shows there within 5 weeks? I don't know. I mean, obviously this happened half an hour ago, so we've got to rethink. We've got Selby Gradovich to place. We've got Mitchell Linares. We've got Kelbrook will be defending his world title about then. We've got Tony Bellew, looks like he'll have a world title fight about then. So we've got plenty of fights to get together. It's just a case of whether what we look to do on the 25th or what we look to do on May the 30th.
Next question. Obviously, Al Hayman's Premier Boxing Champions. Obviously, we know that BoxNation have obviously showing their next however many fights. How does that affect Sky showing that fight? How does that work?
Well, Al Hayman will own the rights to the fight, so it's up to him where he puts the fight. I think BoxNation have got the first 2 or 3. I'm not even sure if this is a Premier Boxing show or an NBC show, CB, or wherever it's on. Showtime, I don't know. So but ultimately it will go where they sell it. So it's free. It's free for everyone to try and win. Obviously, we'd like it on Sky, but when you lose a purse bid, that's part of the rights that you give away is the international TV. So we'd love it on Sky. James would as well. But if it goes to another broadcaster, so be it. It's just about winning a world title. No options, no ties. Win the world title and create history, but also control your own destiny.
Eddie, I know you said obviously you spoke to James and he's buzzing, but surely he must be slightly disappointed that he's not getting home advantage in this fight.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, it didn't sound like that. I mean, obviously, look, of course you want to fight at home, but I think when the bid comes in like that, it soothes the pain, so to speak. I think it shocked a lot of people. Just done about 4 or 5 calls with journos in America. They can't quite believe it. But like I said, if it was 2.2 or 2.3, I'd be a lot more sick than I am. I think there's a certain element of a challenge going to America, and I think that drives James DeGALE as well. If it is on, PBC, then it's going to give him huge exposure over there, and we know he's got the huge payday anyway. So things could be worse. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure James would have liked April 25th at the O2. Me particularly, as a promoter of that show, would have loved to have done the fight there. But we're in a situation where some crazy bids come in. I remember when Jay-Z or Rock Nation won the bid for Peter Quillen against Korobov. Was it 1.9 million? Something like that. And everyone went, what an unbelievable, ridiculous, crazy bid. Wow. And this is 3.1 million. So, they were 2 big bids. 2 big bids. And, we backed James to the tune of 2.1 million. I was thinking that was a huge bid in the circumstances. Dirrell's not the biggest draw in the world. But, they've come in for whatever reason, whether they've felt competition from the US. But it's a good thing, because I don't think in the end they were bidding to beat us. I think they were bidding to beat someone else.
Eddie, I spoke to you the other day about Ward Frotch, and you sort of indicated that Rock Nation weren't capable of sort of outbidding if it went into that sort of situation, but they clearly can't they? Surely compete at that level, purse bid wise.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one thing you've got to understand is obviously the Ward against Frotch fight is significantly different to the Dirrell against DeGALE fight. I mean, you're talking about 50, 60,000. You're talking about 7, 8, 900 down 1,000 pay-per-view buys. So it's a completely different situation. I fancied us to win these purse bids. I've said it to you half a dozen times. And I think at 2.1 million, there's not many that didn't think we would have won those bids. But we are entering a time where people are making decisions not based on, say common sense, because it's a bit harsh, but not based, on effective planning, and not based on logic. But it's good news for the fighters in some respect, because there's some huge paydays about. For James to get £1 million to challenge for the world title, not many would expect that kind of payday, but he's got it. Would have loved to fight over here, and I think that the Ward against Frotch scenario is a little bit different, because the revenues are completely different. DeGALE Dirrell's a big fight here, but not a monster fight, and the other one is.
When obviously you put Anthony Joshua on the 31st bill, and obviously tickets were absolutely flying, you were closing in on 10,000 tickets, he didn't fight and that didn't happen, but couldn't you still do the O2 so confident of putting that back on there with Selby Gradovic to get at least sort of 10,000 in there for that, or you're not looking for that?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, listen again, Selby Gradovic fight's expensive, and we've got home advantage for that one, and now we look to get home advantage for Linares against Mitchell. And the money that we were going to spend on DeGALE against Dirrell, we can now look to spend on Linares Mitchell or Bellew, in a world title fight, or etc., etc. So you can expect a big card, but I just don't know at this point whether it's going to be April 25th or a May date.
Linares Mitchell, is that not a possibility for the 25th? No.
No, I don't think so. No.
No. So you got within 15 days, you and obviously Team DeGALE will know a date and venue for this fight.
Yeah, I expect it before then, to be honest with you, but that's the deadline that the IBF set in the event of a purse bid.
And when will you make a decision whether you're going to run with the O2 show or not?
Probably in the next 48 hours.
Okay. Well, is there anything else to add to?
No, listen, mate, always fun and games. You take it on the chin. Like I said, I don't mind being beat by a country mile. I would have been devastated if it was 100,000. You know, I really felt that, you know, listen, I mean, the offers that we were putting in to Dirrell previously were $600,000-$700,000, which gives you a 1.4 million purse bid. So we decided effectively to go for it with a 2.1 million purse bid, and they've never offered DeGALE more than 600,000 in negotiations, and now they're paying him 1.5 million. So, you know.
Just finally, I saw some people tweeting to say that you announced this fight.
No, I think you know the answer to
I
that.
know, but just you did a press conference to say that you were hopeful of.
Correct.
DeGALE
That's all I've
fighting
ever
on the
said.
25th.
I said April the 25th is the date that we want James DeGALE to fight Andre Dirrell. I didn't advertise the show. I didn't put it on sale. You know, I always said that was the date, and it was the date. And all the offers made to Andre Dirrell, April the 25th was the date for the fight. But of course, we had to agree terms with Andre Dirrell, and that wasn't possible.
All right, then. Well,
all right, mate.
I'm sure you'll keep us posted on whatever else is going on. So
you get the exclusives as always, old boy.
Thank you very much.
Speak to you later.
See you later. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.